Hi, I'm Dr. Marty, and I'm a couples and marriage counselor. I'm going to say I have about 35 calls a week from people looking for couples counseling. Folks aren't sure how to find a good therapist for them. So I made this short video with the idea, if you're looking for a good therapist, to give you some guidelines, some ideas of how to actually locate someone that's going to be a good fit for you. There are three areas that I want to talk about. One will be the criteria for a good therapist. How can you judge who's really a good therapist? And I'll give you some suggestions about that. The other one is, what do the letters behind people's name mean? And what are their credentials? And the last one is, what should be covered in therapy? And what should you be talking about and doing in couples therapy once you finally get to the therapist's office? So let's start with the criteria for a good therapist. One, are you comfortable with them? And the way that you can judge that is when you have your first phone call, are they easy to talk to? Do you feel understood? Do you feel accepted? That's a way that you can judge whether or not you feel comfortable with the therapist. The second thing is what percentage of their practice is dedicated toward couples? And a way that you can check on that is take a look at their site. See how much of their site is dedicated toward working with couples. And if they don't have a site, well, what you can do is you can ask them. You can say, well, what percentage of the people that you see are couples or couples related? And then the third thing is, are they easy to reach? And if you can't get them immediately, which is reasonable, are they quick to call back, say within 2 to 3 hours? Because if you have a problem, you're going to want to be able to get to them and to talk with them and to ask them about what's on your mind or even what happened in the last session. Now, the next thing you might do is consider how many years they've been in practice. And let me go through what some of the letters behind people's names are and what they stand for. A PhD is a doctorate in psychology or marriage and family counseling. An LPC is a licensed professional counselor. An LCSW is a licensed clinical social worker. An LMFT is a licensed marriage and family therapist. Don't worry if you didn't get the information. It's also written on our site. When you call a counselor, you might ask them what should happen in counseling. Here's what I think should be focused on in your meetings. There are three areas that should be covered in couples therapy. One is communication. Teaching a couple to talk with each other so you can hear each other as well as speak to each other and really get a deeper understanding of each other. Also, how to effectively deal with conflict and anger so that on the one side your partner's anger doesn't overwhelm you, and on the other side you have control of your own anger so that you can really communicate with your partner. Lastly, it's really important to figure out how to reconnect with your partner, how to develop those warm, positive, loving feelings that can last a lifetime and you can grow old together. I want to end this video by saying I believe that selecting the right couples counselor or a marriage counselor is among the most important decisions you'll ever make. In terms of what your future life holds, if you have children, in terms of their future, the ability to have the best chance at your marriage working out is really going to a lot be dependent on not only what you bring to the session, but what the counselor, what the therapist is able to help you with. So I provided these guidelines and criteria with the idea of it'll give you the best start in terms of being able to make your relationship work, to make the most of any chance that you possibly have. I want to thank you very much for spending a few minutes to take a look at my video. Hopefully it'll take you a little bit further along the line to selecting the right counselor. If you've got any questions at all, at the end of this video are some ways to get in touch with me so that I can answer any additional questions that you might have.